we decided to do a horror / thriller movie.
Do you want to say what it is?
Mandy is one of the most interesting and cool movies I've seen in quite a long time. I was kind of infatuated with it when it came out. I wrote many volumes of text.
Yeah.
So, in Mandy, Nick Cage is a rugged lumberjack living in the woods with his girlfriend.
I don't know, they never said. I have this
Yeah.
note, like wife question mark because
Whatever she was, they were in a relationship, and her name is Mandy. One day while Mandy's walking to work, she is seen by this weird freaky cult that lives out in a house in the woods.
in their cult van.
In their cult van.
Children of the New Dawn.
And their leader
Jeremiah Sand.
sees her walking through this wooded path, and he's like, I must have this woman. So he sends his creepy cult member followers to abduct her. This leads to them making a pact with an even weirder group of people that live out in the woods called the Black Skulls.
Black Skulls are like creepy bikers, demon bikers or something. They're weird, monstrous. One of them looks like a goblin from Legend.
One thing leads to another. Bad things happen. Nick Cage has to go on a tremendous, murderous, rage-filled killing spree.
Revenge Fiesta!
So, do you want to start with your notes?
One of the most, I think, noticeable things about Mandy is the look of it. It's aesthetic. It's kind of got that grainy, faux retro look. Reminds me of things like The Void and Carpenter videos.
Lots of neon colors.
Yeah.
Lots of smoke.
Yeah, everything's very saturated. Maybe the color just represents how
high someone is.
Yeah.
There are tons of drugs in this movie.
Yeah, people are getting high off of like everything. Like weird eye drops, hornet stings, weird silver liquid that looks like mercury. There's these shots sometimes in the movie that look like a retro metal album cover. And then following that theme, there's these title screens that for like the Children of the New Dawn when they're introduced. When they introduce the woods even where they live. And the title, the actual movie title card are awesome. It's sort of set in the Pacific Northwest, I think. But that's just like a natural environment. You start getting to some really like unnatural looking environments at the end, and those are really cool too. How does all that taste as a beer?
I don't know. Well, So I did have some thoughts on what we could do to make a beer out of this. Please stop me or encourage me to continue. When I was first watching this movie and I was trying to think of what kind of beer we'd make, I thought we have to make a black beer because of the kind of like black metal design of the logo and the like blackness of space and just like the darkness of the movie and his journey. So we can make a stout. So just like this deep dark stout that's just like a black hole of just color, and it's just thick with just ectoplasmic terror, and it's just like we could put in kind of like space themed hops like Galaxy and Comet, and just kind of cool things like this.
There was a hop named Comet.
Yeah, there is. It's not great. The second idea I had was we could make a beer that kind of looked like their crazy wild LSD juice that they would drink it by they guzzle it down, and Nick Cage actually took one taste of it and he just kind of like turned inside out. I could make something like this, but then we'd be like, what kind of beer could it be? Well, what would match
I don't know how you would make something that looked like this.
A third thing I thought would be really cool to do would be a black New England IPA. So it's kind of like a juicy, hazy, toasty, roasty, kind of like there's substance with all the haze, and then it's just like tons of flavor, and it's just like black as space. I think it'd be like a really cool experiment to try, just like this weird ass movie.
I actually thought of the Black New England IPA thing too, because I remembered you mentioning it before as well.
Yeah.
And because I'll do like anything to not have to make a stout. I hate stouts. I'm sure if you made a stout, it would probably come out, tolerable to me. But yeah.
It would be stouty.
So it'll definitely have like a chocolate or roasted flavor. But I was wondering about with the citrus flavor, like what we should pick.
If you want to add a fruit as well.
Yeah. I guess that's actually what I was thinking. Is,
yeah.
We'll have the citrus that you kind of get from the hops, but also adding an actual fruit. So I was trying to think of things that I haven't seen done. And for some reason, one thing that came to mind was pomegranate.
Oh, yeah.
I don't really know how well that would work or what kind of flavor that would have.
We could kind of taste it and see what it's tasting like. Once we see what it tastes like, we can kind of pick a complementary fruit.
I also kind of wondered too if you had it might be defeating the purpose of the style though, but if you had a dark enough colored fruit added, if you could use that to contribute to the darkness a little bit and then a little less of the grains.
I think you're really trying to get out of.
I'm just turning it into a different beer.
Yeah, you are.
Can we just make it a goza?
Yeah.
I like your idea of just making a Black New England IPA and then tasting it and seeing what we think and going from there.
Yeah.
Surprise fruit or not. Maybe not.
We talked through it. We decided on a beer. Black New England IPA.
Yeah.
Cosmic hops.
Yeah.
Citrus. Chocolate. Space.
All we have to do is brew it.
And we'll be right back.
I started this brew day by doing something special with our water chemistry. New England IPAs are known for their soft mouthfeel. To help achieve this, you can adjust your water chemistry to have a sulfate to chloride ratio of about 180 to 75. The water additions for this beer are 7.5 grams calcium chloride, 3.3 grams Epsom salt, and 4.2 grams of baking soda. Baking soda additions are good for beers that contain roasted or black malts due to their acidity. Next, we doughed in with 9 pounds of pale 2-row, 2 pounds flaked oats, 8 ounces chocolate malt, and 8 ounces debittered black. The oats will give the beer a thicker body and mouthfeel, while the black malts will give it its distinct color and flavor. After a 15-minute boil, we were finally able to get into the hops. Our first addition was 1 ounce each of Amarillo, Equinox, and Glacier. Once our 60-minute boil was done, I lowered the temperature to 170 and added another ounce each of Amarillo and Equinox. The whirlpool temperature is important. If it's too high, then you'll get more bitterness from the hops than you expected. I also did some dry hopping for this beer. The schedule for this was 1 ounce each of Amarillo, Equinox, and Glacier for 7 days, and another ounce each for 3 days.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Eric Estrada.
Eric Estrada who?
Eric Estrada from Chips. The beer's ready. I'm excited to taste it. Looks very nice and foamy. What do you think? What do you see?
It's very, very dark, like you wanted.
Yes, very dark. I was
dark.
mildly concerned when I was making it because it just looked kind of brown.
Yeah.
But whenever it's collected in a vessel, it's quite black.
Looking into the abyss.
Yeah.
It's looking into me!
Looks black, has a nice thick head, have a lot of flaked oats in there, so that was kind of a addition that could cause a nice head retention, as you would call it.
Body?
Yes, body, head, both things that I have. I'd like you to give it a sniff. I always like what you say you smell because it's always pretty different from me, and I think that's interesting.
It does smell like an IPA, just at first whiff.
No.
It's like, I smell hops, which is, what you always smell when you go in smelling an IPA. And now I can't unsmell it. I smell like the roastiness, kind of
sweet.
Chocolatey.
Yeah, kind of
It does
chocolatey
smell
and sweet.
Yeah, a little.
Oh yeah. Okay, so we smelled it, we've looked at it, we've gandered.
Yes.
Let's take a sip. You ready?
I'm scared.
All right, no, go for it.
It's so dark.
Just take a sip and then take another sip. I see that face. It is a bit more bitter than I was hoping.
It struck me as being super bitter. But is it really bitter? Because I'm always mistaking something else for bitterness.
It's fairly bitter. I think this is a really good tasting beer, as in like a black IPA. I even use the debittered black malt, which is like they remove the husk, because the husk is like kind of burned whenever they do that,
okay.
and it causes this bitterness. So they remove that, and it's usually less bitter, right, for that reason. And then I didn't add very many hops during the boil. I actually added most of them in Whirlpool at the end whenever it's cooling down, and I even waited for there's like a temperature you're supposed to bring the wort down to before you add your Whirlpool hops, because if it's over a certain temperature, it's still bringing bitterness out of the hops. So you bring it down to a certain temperature, then you can add your Whirlpool hops, and you mostly get that like aroma and flavor. And I feel like I got more bitterness out of it than I expected. What do you think after trying it a few times?
I know. Tastes are tastes.
Lay it on me.
It's not my thing.
Yeah.
It tastes a lot like coffee to me almost. And I don't mean that it tastes like coffee. The bitterness level. There's almost this I don't want to say astringent because that sounds gross, but like
Yeah, I know what you're talking about though.
yeah, there's an acidity or something to it.
No, there's an astringentness that you can get from black malts. I definitely taste that. I definitely taste the bitterness from the malt and the hops. So it's not quite a success as a New England IPA.
Yeah.
I feel.
Yeah, it's missing the juice.
It's missing that juice. I still feel like if we would have added a fruit or something, it may have just still felt a little bitter. I still feel though that this is a very good black IPA. If people are interested in black IPAs, I think this is very tasty and delicious black IPA. So
that's a good point, because you've had black IPAs, just plain black IPAs, not New England ones. That before that I've tried, because you're always like, take a sip of everything. Yeah. So that's what this tastes like.
If that's what we were going for, I'd be very happy. So I'll take our successes where we can get them.
If you want to say if it's a success in capturing the movie or not, I mean, it's black and it's bitter. Yeah. It hates you.
I do feel like the hop flavor is still there. Like there's still like nice amounts of like layered hop flavors of different like fruits and stuff. Didn't quite hit our mark with the New England IPA. This should just be exploding with this just hop aroma and flavor, and it's just not there for some reason. So I mean, if you can see what I did wrong, I'd appreciate the tips, let us know in the comments. Of course, I'll put the recipe in the comments of the video so you can brew it yourself. If you brew it, let us know. I'd love to see what it looks like, what you thought of it. Until next time. Ojay.
Oh my god.
Ojay. Ojay. Come here. Oh. Here, okay. You did good, bud.